In today's episode, I'll be going over 3 of my favorite effects, which I've been using a lot of in my creative edits. These are all super easy to do and also simple to recreate, so definitely try it out if you feel like your videos have been a bit stale lately. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of these tutorials on the channel.
So different.
Before we get started, I want to give Artless a big shout out for sponsoring this episode. If you're not too familiar with Artless, they are royalty-free music and sound effects platform. They offer unlimited downloads and access to over 20,000 high-quality music and 27,000 sound effects, which they update daily. So you'll be able to find songs fast and be able to search through different categories and not have to worry about not being able to find anything to use. And you can choose from different subscription tiers to ensure that it fits your creative needs. If you're interested in trying out Artless, make sure to use the link in the description down below so you can get 2 additional months added on for free to any of the annual subscriptions.
So for this one, I'm just gonna get you to stand there, maybe just kind of like move around, like cross your arms kind of thing.
Alright, so the first effect I'm going to show you is called the low shutter speed effect. The name pretty much gives it away. So you change your camera setting to have a very low shutter speed, so it gives your video that slow, stuttery look, which is actually often used in music videos. So first thing I would do is go on your camera and change the shutter speed, which is the number right here. Usually if we're following the 180-degree shutter rule, which filmmakers like to use to get that cinematic motion blur, we would set the shutter to double what the frame rate is. So say for example, we're shooting at 24 frames per second, the shutter would be at 148, but since that's not available, we would set it to 1/50th. So in this case, we will set the shutter down low to about 1/10th, 1/15th to get that look we're trying to achieve. It's super easy. All you really need to do is change one setting on your camera and you're pretty much good to go. I've been using this effect often and honestly it's one of my favorites since it also gives my videos that old school feel and vibes. So next up we have the Parallax effect. It gives your video that cool 3D like effect, which I've actually used in a lot of my videos as well. And again, this one is simple to do.
Mark, I just need you to come forward a little bit. There you go. And I'm gonna take about 6 photos and then stitch them all in post after.
So I'll have my friend Mark in place here and snap around 4 to 5 photos moving from one side to the other. You just gotta make sure that your subject stays in the same place without moving. After you snap those photos, you're pretty much good to go. So I'm gonna be using Final Cut Pro to show you how to edit this. You can use any editing platform. All the steps will be similar. So take the photos that you have and place them side by side on the timeline. Shorten each one to about 1/8 of a second each. So if you're using about 4 photos, the entire thing will be about half a second long. Next, let's line up the subject in each photo. Place the second photo on top of the first one. Change the opacity of the top clip to about 70% so that you can see the photo below. Now click on the transform tab. Move the clip so that the subject is aligned with the first one. Do the same thing with the third clip. Now you're going to repeat these steps until you're done aligning all of them. So you'll see that the framing might be a bit off as you can see the background behind it. But don't worry, we'll fix that. Highlight all of your clips, right click and select a new compound clip. You can then highlight the clip under a transform in the inspector tab and adjust the scale until it fully fits the frame. Copy that clip and paste it next to the first one. Now with the second clip selected, click on the retiming options tab and select reverse clip. Copy these 2 clips and paste it as many times as you want. Obviously, the more you paste, the longer your video will be. Again, this is easy to do. I highly recommend beginners trying this out as it'll add a whole different style and perspective to your videos. And the last effect I'm going to show you today, I also use quite often. It's going from black and white to color. And I'll add in a little bit more to it just to make it pop out even more.
And what I'm gonna do is kind of like have you look around, stand there and look around like you're looking at your surrounding, and then I'm gonna come in close. Once I come in close, you can be like, you can do like a little shake or be like, oh, 3, 2, 1, look around and shake.
So for this one, you film your subject standing somewhere or doing something. Then as you get closer to them, have them react as if something happened in the video. Then you can pull back slowly or you can just leave it in the same spot. Totally up to you. One clip is all I need, so I'm gonna head into Final Cut Pro to start editing this. I'm gonna drag the clip onto the timeline and I'm gonna copy and paste another one on top of it. With the top clip selected, I'm going to head over to the inspector tab on the right side and add a color board. I'm going to change the saturation levels by pulling it all the way down, and it'll give it that black and white look. Now pick a spot maybe about 4 to 5 frames before your subject reacts to the change, and place a keyframe under opacity, which will be under the inspector tab. Now move over about 5 to 10 frames after the reaction and change the opacity to 0%. So by doing this, you're revealing the clip below it. Next, let's add a bit of shake to the clip when the change happens by adding the earthquake effect. So I'm going to select both of them, right click and make a compound clip. Then in the effects tab, I'm going to look for earthquake. Then I'm going to drop that on top of the newly created clip. So I'm going to add a keyframe to the earthquake effect around 5 frames before the color change happens. Now I'm going to move over about 5 to 10 frames, and you can increase the amount of the effect to whatever number you want. Now move over about 10 frames over and reduce the effect to 0. So now it should look something like this. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check out Artless, and if you decide that you want to sign up with them, use the link in the description down below so that you get 2 extra months added on to your annual subscription. I'll see you guys in the next one.